In this video, we'll be replacing the rear door handle on this 2007 Mazda CX-9. So the first thing we're going to do is start with our window all the way up. We're going to use a small pick tool. You can use a small pocket screwdriver. I'm going to pull the handle open. Gives you a little bit of room in here to get that pick tool or screwdriver in there and pull that cover into you. And there'll be a Phillips screw right inside there. So now that we have our Phillips screw exposed, we'll go ahead and remove that one. And then straight down inside your door pull, you'll have one more Phillips screw. So now around the perimeter of your door panel, we're going to get in a panel tool, and we're going to pop our door panel inward. You're going to be releasing some plastic clips that are popped into the metal panel. We're going to do this all the way around. Once your door panel is able to swing like this and it looks like it's completely disconnected from the metal part itself, we have one last panel to remove. It's right up here in the top corner of your window. This part here, we're just going to grab a hold of it in the window, pop it out and inward towards us, and slide it up. Now you can see here there was one more clip. It remained in the door itself. We'll use a panel tool, pop that clip out. And we'll put it back into this spot here. Now with our door panel free, we should be able to lift up our door panel and away. So now we have a couple of connections here which have already pulled out of their little locks. So we're just going to finish them by removing these two cables. All right, and then we have one more connection here for our window switch. We're going to use a small pocket screwdriver to push that clip in. See if we can release that plug. And we can take our door panel off and away. All right, now we have a little foam access cover here. We're going to need to remove that. Now these sometimes come off clean, sometimes they rip. So just take your time. All right, so we have a little access panel here which we'll have to go through with a 10mm socket. So we'll pop that plug out. So right inside here you can see the arm that controls your latch mechanism when you open and close the door. That black lock clips over this rod. We're going to need to pull this to us. We need to pull that to the rear of the vehicle to unlock it from that cable or that rod. There you go. So we just pulled it up and flipped it up. Once you have that lock off, what you can do is take your rod right out of the latch. So now straight back in through our little access hole, we have our 10mm. Go ahead and take that out. So now we have two covers here. They're going to be access for our window on our window regulator. We're going to remove these covers. And the next thing we're going to do is lower our window down until we see the two bottom bolts holding our window to the window regulator right inside here. So now to roll your window down, you're going to need your door panel or your window switches plugged back in and your ignition on. So now that we have that, we'll go ahead and lower our window until we see our two bolts. You want to stop right here when you see your two bolts visible. And then we'll go ahead and remove those two bolts, put our window all the way back up. All right, so you have two 10mm bolts. Take these out. Now at this point, your window is disconnected. Those were the 2 bolts holding your window to the regulator. So be careful. Your next step is going to be put your window all the way back up. So the next thing we're going to do is tape our window in the up position. Because it is no longer connected, we need to keep it with tape from falling. So a couple pieces of tape should hold your window up. Use as many as you feel secure with. We'll probably use 3 pieces. And now at this point, you can disconnect your door panel to get it out of your way. So the first thing we're going to do is unplug this harness here. And because it's connected to this black centerpiece here, we're going to leave it connected. You will have 1 push pin right up in the center. You can actually take that out now. And the rest will be 10 millimeter. All right, so now we're going to work this black panel out. And because we didn't disconnect our speaker or our power window motor, we're going to keep it connected and just rotate it out of our way for right now. Okay, so now we have a piece of foam held in by a clip here. Typically these clips will push in to release when they're flush like this. This one, actually, get a small pocket screwdriver, a pick. The center of this one actually pops out. And then you can remove clip. We're just going to reassemble it halfway so we don't lose it. And your foam on this side is actually held on by a piece of adhesive. Go ahead and pop that off. We can take our foam piece right out. Now that we have our foam removed, you can see we have 1 more 10 millimeter nut here. Go ahead and take that out. And once you remove that 10 millimeter nut, this black plastic piece should come free and right out. So now you've taken your black panel off and you see you have 2 more 10 millimeters. They're going to be right behind on the same studs that you took off the nuts from earlier. So inside here you'll have to go 1 more time for another 10 millimeter, and right in here there'll be another 10 millimeter. Okay, so we'll take this one off first. Okay, so this is actually going to come out as a nut and stud. And the other one in the back here should be the same. So now that you've taken out your 4 bolts here holding in your handle and that black plastic piece, you should be able to work your handle right out. To make it a little bit easier, pull your handle as if you were opening it and pull it right out. Now continue to pull it out at an angle and rotate it right out of the door. All right, so we're going to put our new door handle in front first. We're going to rotate it in. We'll get to about here. This arm will become a problem, so what we'll do is we'll open the door handle a little. Slide that arm right into the opening, and we have a pin right back here we have to locate into this hole. So now with our handle installed, we're going to install our 2 studs. And this one through this little access hole. Come back and tighten those up. Our black plastic piece here is going to go right on top. The studs are going to go right through there. And that's going to get locked down with 2 nuts. And we're going to start the other one by hand on our bit here. So now we can install our white foam back into place. And our retainer push clip here. And just push it to lock it in. All right, so now we can take our rod, put it into our handle. Just like that. Once you have it seated all the way into the handle, we can take this black lock, spin it down, and press it to lock that rod in place. So now we're going to take our interior panel here with our regulator. We're going to put it up into position. So you're going to need to get your regulator in behind this lip, and only your regulator behind that lip. So along the bottom of this panel here, there's a pin. This pin's going to need to be located into the panel. Right there. All right, now we can start to reinstall our bolts here. All right, so right here we're going to put our push clip back in. And then we have our harness here. Plug it back in. Now we're going to plug in our door panel. And you're going to want to turn your ignition on to the accessory position so we can control our window motor. Once you've turned your ignition on, come back over here to your window switch. And you're going to put your window switch down. All the way down, all the way back up. And what that should do is meet up to the bottom of your window where your bolts go. If you look down inside here, you can make sure that your regulator is matched up to your window. As long as you're matched up there, we can go ahead and take the tape off the window. Now, because your window is not bolted to the regulator, if you press the window down switch, your window may stay up, your regulator may go down, and your window might drop. So what you're going to need to do is put a little pressure downward on your window as you push your window switch down. This will move the both of them together. And you're going to line up the 2 bolt holes down here again so we can reinstall those bolts. So there are your 2 bolt holes on your window regulator going through your window mounts. From here, if you decide to, if you need the room, you can unplug your door panel and move your door panel out of the way. We're going to take our 2 bolts, start them by hand. We're going to put them right back in. At this point, try not to drop these bolts in the door or you'll have to undo everything we just did. Go ahead and tighten these down. Once you have those two tightened down, we can go ahead and put these covers back on. Just press them back in. All right, so now we're going to put our two covers back on here. This one should just be a stick back in place. And our other cover here, just press back in. All right, so now we're going to put our door panel back on. We're going to start with our window switch again. Plug it back in. All right, we actually pulled this clip out here, so we'll put that back in. And then we're going to rotate the panel up, and we're going to put our lock and our door handle back in place. All right, so when you want to do this, you want both of your handle and your lock to be closed up. You're going to take the handle on the bottom, feed it in, front down, pull it back, and lock that plastic into place by pushing it in. You do the same thing on the lock. Put that front into the tab, lean it back, and then lock the back. Into place. Once we have that, you want to be careful not to lean it back too much or they'll pop out, just like that. So we're going to lean our door panel in. We're going to lift it up over this top lip near our window. We're going to sit it down onto that channel. Once you have your door panel hinging on this top lip here, we're going to push it in towards the door, and we're going to give it a few good taps all the way around, seating those panel clips all the way around the perimeter. To make sure you're locked in, give it a little tug outwards. A panel should not come separate from the door. So now in our door pocket here, we're going to put our Phillips screw in. And now our Phillips screw inside our handle area here. And to finish that handle area off, we'll put our cover back in, open our handle all the way. We'll put our cover in and press it to lock in. All right, and now our corner trim piece here, we have two clips. I'm just going to line up the clips while we can see them, and then just grab and squeeze. And now to finish off, we'll do an operations check with our key in the ignition position. We'll do window up, window all the way down, make sure our lock functions, handle works, close it up, and we'll check the operation of the handle a few times. If everything looks good, shut your ignition off, you're done.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.